very much for being back. And if you just joined us, this is still Enterprise Friday, reaching you from Enterprise Television. Let's head straight to our second part of our main conversation for today. In a surprising political shift, 24 members of the Akwa Ibom State House of Representatives have defected to the All Progressive Congress APC, sparking debate across the state and beyond. The move coming ahead of strategic political realignment for 2027 raises the critical question: is this a show of loyalty or a classic case of stomach infrastructure? While some argue that the mass defection is a strategic alignment with the ruling party at the federal level, many believe it reflects Nigeria's deep-rooted culture of political opportunism, where access to federal power and resources often takes precedence over ideological conviction. With Governor Omor Eno's recent warm reception by the APC stakeholders and increasing speculation about the presidency's influence, this shift could signal more than political realignment. It may be a scramble for survival and relevance. In the end, the people of Akwa Ibom will decide if there's genuine loyalty or a transactional betrayal of a public trust. I still have with me Ubong Thompson, coordinator at Rise Agenda Awareness Advocacy. Thank you so very much, Ubong, for being here.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Totally do appreciate you. It's actually very big that we talk about some of these things, because Akwa Ibom State is very pivotal to Nigeria, because it's one of those states in Nigeria where, of course, our resources come from. So it's very important that we do a little bit of talking about what's happening there. Now, going by the Nigerian Constitution, specifically Section 68, which addresses defection for lawmakers, it stipulates that a legislator who was elected on a party's platform must vacate their seat if they defect to another party, except in cases of a division within the original party or a merger with another party. Ubong Thompson, the least I know, there's no problem with the PDP in Akwa Ibom State. I do not know. Do you think this is more of a stomach infrastructure or true loyalty to the people?
Well, I think what has happened in recent times is, is a development that had to do with the current alignment at the center of governance, in which the state governor, Pastor Omoino, decide to align with the APC party through defection in order to support, or as he's put it, to render his support to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria for re-election. And for reason being that it will give easy access for better benefit through the connection to the center that will make an easy passage of any request that the state governor might so wish to pass before the federal government. So I believe it is a political motivated move, and the State House of Assembly cannot, work in an isolation, which, if that happens, might breed some clashes between the state governor and that of the assembly. We saw what happened in Rivers State, where the governor remains in PDP, and the House members defected to APC, even if they said they have not, that they weren't. Yes, that gave them that room to want to carry out, an impeachment against the governor. So in Akwa Ibom State, in the wisdom of the state governor, probably he does not want that difference to occur. That is why you see the 24 members of House of Assembly in Akwa Ibom State defecting along with the state governor to All Progressive Party. Remaining 2 members. These 2 members has continuously affirmed their commitment and their loyalty to PDP. And when you talk of the constitution,
are we talking about their their allegiance to PDP, or is it allegiance to Udom Emmanuel, who brought in Omoeno as the governor?
Actually, we see different people have their different, their different perception and perspective toward, what is happening and what to happen in their life. So that has been their own decision. But I wanted to talk about the constitutionality of these 24 members, House of Assembly members that defected to APC, citing Section 109(1)G of 1999 Constitution as amended, which give them room for defection should there be any, crisis in the party, both at the state and at the federal, level of the party.
But is there a crisis in the party? Within the party, within the state? Yes.
As we speak, in the state level,
yes,
there has been cohesion among the party faithful, and there hasn't been any clashes.
Okay.
But what they are basing their decision on is concerning the national, umbrella of the party, which is the apex, making decision of the party, the PDP national, the national exco of the PDP, which are currently in crisis. Can see what is going on at the national level, even when the court has affirmed, the current secretary to be the authentic secretary, but there's still different opinion and clashes here and there, because of the Nyesom Wike faction and that of the governors, of PDP faction. They also have different factions. So this actually prevents these units at the state level, to want to have that confidence to remain in PDP because of this crisis that has persisted for a long time. So that has formed part of their reason, for defecting. So in the other way around, they also defect along to also assist the state governor, if I may say so, in running, making laws and making easy, giving easy ground as, though not, politically or constitutionally advised, but they defect along with the state governor so that, they will show their loyalty to the state governor. I think that is what has happened that we find in Akwa Ibom State. All
right, beautifully said. But let's not forget, when the governor, Omoeno, defected to the APC, he stated while he was making his address that, especially to the commissioners, he said that he doesn't have any reason to negotiate with them, that the only persons that he has reasons to negotiate with is the elected House members in Akwa Ibom State. Now, according to research we have, in 2025 alone, the budget allocates 1 billion to provision of vehicles to the House members in Akwa Ibom State. Do you think there would have been an exchange of largesse, an exchange of gift? We do not know what it is, allegedly, but do you think that could form part of the negotiation to get the House members to follow him?
Well, the budgets of 1 billion, to provide vehicles to the House of Assembly members and other, political appointees can be seen as, the same thing that you see the governor also providing projects, in different constituencies for, for less privileged people, for the elderly, for providing schools and then the medical facilities. Don't forget that these House of Assembly members, they are also, are working under the state government. So
they are people in need? Is that what you're saying?
They are also entitled to whatsoever the states can, also extend as a hands of fellowship to them. So I think he just doing his constitutional, duty as the governor of the state. He can reach anyone so far, that person is constitutionally, to be provided for constitutionally. I don't see anything unconstitutional about that.
All right. So while, of course, we might, hold the brief for those House members for the fact that they were gifted a 1 billion naira worth of vehicles, let's take a look at the antecedents of these lawmakers. Because the reason they are representing different constituencies is to provide good governance for those constituencies. They are like governors of their constituencies. And every single month, there's an allowance that goes to them that should end in the communities that they serve. Now, let's take a look at them. You know most of these people very so well. Would you say that most of them have done greatly when it comes to providing dividends of democracy to their communities? You might, of course, mention names if you may.
Yeah, I think very few. To the best of my knowledge, very few has been on the, on the forefront of making sure that their constituents are well-to-do, providing, basic life-changing amenities. Some that I know are also sponsoring, giving scholarships, giving, sponsoring some youth for skill acquisition, empowerment, and other training, for the youth. But I want to see more. Just like the governor has performed and has been able to distinguish himself, even to the fact that Nigerians, have been able to, follow the developments in Akwa Ibom State, courtesy of the performing governor of Akwa Ibom State, His Excellency Pastor Moino. We also want, this should serve as a challenge to House of Assembly members, because very few, if I am to mention, I've heard of Prince Upon Akpabio having been a very, very vibrant, legislature,
Where is he representing?
He's representing Senudim State constituency. So, and he's doing massively well. And I would have also expected the speaker.
And who is who?
Honorable Udeme
Okay.
to also do well in his constituency. But it's surprising that, though 1 or 2 years ago, or let's say a year ago, we heard of a little empowerment program that he provided for his constituency. But we would have loved to see most of those places he went to campaign for vote. Promising, like I remember he went to a school known, Ukpomobak. He promised he's going to, assist in drawing the attention of the state government to the renovation of Nigerian Christian Secondary School, Ukpomobak. But up to date, nothing has been done about it. Even the road that cut across Pepsi to Abak, we find it very difficult, to get him to attend to that road. But though the state government has done that,
yes.
But there are other locations in his constituency that need very, very key attention, in which we believe he has to sit up and he has to give back to his, communities, his constituency. So we've also had the deputy speaker of the State House that has been doing very well as well, and couples of other House members. So this is an opportunity for them, all of them, to distinguish, aside making the laws, we also understand there's also constituency allowance that is being given to them. So this should be, plugged into developing their various communities and constituencies, and then giving of sponsoring some youth for skill acquisition and empowering some youth. The same manner and way we find some local government chairman, currently doing. The other day we saw Ikorabasi, local government chairman, rolling out almost 350 million empowerment programs.
Now, when we talk about empowerment, sorry to interject you. When we talk about empowerment programs, what exactly are they providing? Because despite all of this empowerment, the unemployment rate in Akwa Ibom is still 45%. So the question is, all of these empowerments we keep hearing, who are those getting these empowerments, and is it in tandem to what would really empower the people?
Yeah, I think the supporters of these various political office holders might be the one benefiting from all this empowerment. And as we speak, I know very well that they give out items ranging from, for those that are hairdressers, they are able to attract dryers, hair dryers. And those that are into barbing, they can get clippers. Then those that doesn't have generator, they get generator, sewing machines. Some get the the local transportation vehicles. They call Gurukpe or Keke.
Shuttle buses.
Shuttle buses. Yes. So they are all benefiting. Or some other get the tricycle van that can help them move things from through and through the farms. So I think they are doing that.
To their loyalists, to their party supporters.
And I might say loyalists, but I want to see it cutting across all the people that deserve to benefit from this.
So it doesn't necessarily have to be, I have to support you before you give me something. It should cut across.
It should cut across.
Every nook and cranny.
I believe, because development should go to everywhere that is being needed.
Very true. Now let's take a look at 2027. New elections would happen, and I would love to believe all of these lawmakers that have defected to the APC, just like the governor said, that he's doing that so he could possibly get the second ticket back to office. Now, most of those who have equally defected to the APC from different constituencies in Akwa Ibom State might be doing that allegedly for them to get second ticket. But do you think there is an opportunity for that unknown Akwa Ibomite, who might not, of course, have opportunity to take the ticket of the APC? Let's say he is a member of the Labour Party. Let's say he is a member of the SDP and other unknown parties that we have today in Nigeria. Do you think there is an opportunity for a nobody from different constituencies in Akwa Ibom State to get the ticket of their party and possibly win and represent their constituencies?
Well, the atmosphere of politics at the state level seems to be very, very dicey at the moment. Taking into account I will call it merger of PDP and APC. These are the two main political parties that you have at the state level. So every other political party will need enormous, audacity to be able to withstand this, APC that we have now at the state level.
Because when you talk about audacity, are you talking about the financial wherewithal to do that? Because let's say Mr. Ubong wants to, contest for his constituency and represent them. Do you necessarily need that capacity, that money to win them, or your people knowing that you are the best fit and therefore elect you? So is it money we should be talking about, which is the capacity or the will of the people to elect an Obong Thompson because he's the best fit?
Well, I'm not, in the nearest future, I'm not looking at, going for any political post.
Yeah, of course. No, I just used you as an example.
I know. Yeah. Whosoever, wants to, embark on that political joining has to get himself prepared. Times changes everything, to the best of my knowledge. And if you want to become an elected office holder, you have to start the joining as early as possible and be able to match the strategy of the current APC party at the state level. So I will advise such individual to start his journey and be able to capture his stronghold politically. And if that happens, believe me, there is nothing that can stop such individual from emerging as a political leader or elective office holder.
All right, so just before we let go of this particular segment, it's very important that we, mention what is going on right now in Akwa Ibom State. Do you think the people that the House members are representing, do you think they are happy? I'd love you to really speak to all of this since emotions apart. Whatever affiliations that we have, let's just throw it out of the window. When you talk to people down home, do you really feel, because you are the coordinator of an advocacy program which is there to create awareness on the need for people to know what to do and what not to do. When you call home, do you see people that are excited that the man representing their constituency had shift base?
Well, what we have now at the state level is something that comes with mixed feeling. And for that reason, you are neither here or there. As it is saying, the two mega parties at the state have been able to come together in unity, because before now you have only PDP, and after some while you begin to have APC, and probably in the last election you now see the Labour Party and the YPP coming into the political atmosphere. So they all played very active role, but as we speak, the collapsing of PDP and defecting into APC has, caused a lot of, upsurge in the system. So you hardly find, someone that is traditionally PDP that is not, that has not gone or defect to, APC. And what we have left are very, very few individuals that said, okay, you can see for instance, the case of the House of Assembly, 24 out of 26, leaving 2 behind, for PDP. So that happened across all the wards and all the constituency. So it will take time for, another political force to emerge. So people at the moment have also moved with, the trend of the things, So that is what you have in Nigeria today. Anything that comes, that most people tend to move toward that direction. So that movement has affected even the grassroots. So to the unit, a lot of party men have moved from PDP to APC. So it will also take time, probably because of the internal democracy, in case there's any, crisis at the state level in APC, that's when you see most people falling back again to PDP or forming other political parties. And that is where you can see, political divide, striving and gasping to breathe and to survive at the center.
Now, as an awareness advocacy coordinator, are you truly excited with the way we run our politics in Nigeria? When people randomly, you can be with someone who is a member of the APC this afternoon, and just by tomorrow morning, the person has defected to another party. Do you think this is good for our democracy? Or should we have it hammered such that once you leave a political party, you should relinquish that position? Do you think that should be the best bet, so as to checkmate all of this, cross-carpeting that is done, and it has set what people have seen as an abuse of the rule of law in Nigeria?
Actually, as a advocacy group, we often advocate for development irrespective of any political inclination or party that anybody holds. But once you have been elected into political office, you must carry out and discharge your function effectively and to the benefit of the people that gives you that mandate. So our own is to continue to sensitize the people sensitize even the political office holders and put them on their toes to do the needful. You know, they are stakeholders in the economic and the political atmosphere of the society, and for that reason, they have to effectively discharge their function. So it's now the duty of the constitution amended bodies or the electoral, basically on the state and federal House of Assemblies and the Senate to enact laws. And you also understand Nigerian economy, political atmosphere is still evolving.
Okay.
I wouldn't expect 100%, performance. But by the time their defection, realignment, or what do you call it? Decamping?
Yes.
If by the time this is done and is not favorable at the point, believe me, Nigerians will also be the ones to say, this system, this strategy isn't good for our people. But the best we can advocate for is for strict adherence to the constitution that is being provided. And constitution should be, made in such a way that there is no clashes. One section will talk about, freedom of defection. The other one will talk about evacuation of, elected office seats if they come. There shouldn't be any conflict of interest in the Constitution. So the Constitution is what is giving rise to what is being practiced today in Nigeria. And that should be avoided. So the lawmakers have the duty to be specific and be specific enough in a particular, laws that is being made for the people.
That is beautifully said, and that's just about the time we have. I think it's very important for us to realize that we are first human beings before we are Nigerians. Then before we pledged our allegiance to whatever party that we find comfortable for us. I love to believe the average man on the street doesn't really truly do care, where the next meal comes from. He doesn't want to know if it's coming from an APC or a PDP. The most important thing is let that food be on the table. Let that parent be comfortable enough to pay for school fees. What they need is security in different parts of the country. It doesn't truly do matter to Nigerians which party brings that. The most important thing is let us have it. And that's what I sincerely believe that Akwa Ibomites, Nigerians need at this point. Thank you so very much, Obong Thompson, for being here.
Thank you so much.
All right, so that's just about the time we have. Obong Thompson is the coordinator of Arise Agenda Awareness Advocacy program. And people, it's about time. We have to leave it for now. I'd love to say thank you to you. Please do well to visit us if you may. You can always find us and read up on all that we have discussed today when you see us at EnterpriseTVNews.com. You may equally rewatch if you may when you visit us at Enterprise TV 7. I am Henry Ikwibiki. Thank you for watching. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.